Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Squad Sunday. And I'm combining it this week with a recipe challenge from another brand new group called Spoonful of Scraps. And whereas Scrap Squad puts out a new layout for you to lift every Friday, Spoonful of Scraps puts out a new recipe every Thursday. And as an example, this is recipe number 3 that just started this week from Chef Helen, who is my friend Helen Lodes. There's a kind of an overriding theme that you can or don't have to use called Everyday Life. The ingredients are black cardstock, got that. Mixed alphabet stickers title, I've got a selection of those to choose from, we'll figure that out. 4 or more pattern papers, so I'll show you those in a minute. 3 hearts and a mixed media background. And so here we go. This is the layout. It's beautiful, kind of diagonally cut in half. This is very just a beautiful surrounding. There's a sentiment card next to a single photo, and there are many layers of pattern paper there. I'm going a different direction from that, and I'll show you about that in a minute. And mine is actually, believe it or not, going to be a little more minimalist than this. So go figure. Okay, let me put this aside and kind of tell you what I've done already. I have this black cardstock, which is my base, and I've used a pattern paper that is, this is the other half of it. It's Bo Bunny's back-to-backs. It's a 2010 Bo Bunny press. And the collection is A Gift of Love, and it's Midnight Frost Moonlight. I love this side almost as much as this side, but this side is purple, and I wanted to go with purple. My photo is of 3 purple flowers that are always the first to bloom in my garden every spring. And I took these photos just earlier, I think this one was taken, first, then this one was taken, and then this one over about the last week and a half. And the clematis is supposed to be growing up, vining up the staircase, the main staircase up to the front door. And it's kind of growing out into the garden wildly, and it's actually getting entangled with the plant that bears this flower, which is absolutely gorgeous. But still, my very favorite is this because it's this color purple. It's just a true beautiful purple. And I've used, this is pink, this is the bluish purple, this kind of has a pinkish purple and a maroon, so I'm using all of those purples in the matting there. So you've seen this is a Petite Prince by Doodlebug Design, and one side has a 2-color purple stripe, this has a 2-color purple dot. So I think I've used both of those. Let's see. I've got this, which is, I have no idea where this paper came from. I think it's one I got from a friend. It's thin paper rather than cardstock, but it's printed with little purple flowers that actually kind of look like irises do. It's hard to tell unless you get it really close. Not sure if that's good enough. But I'm using that. That's my back layer here because it's so light. And I've also stamped and fussy cut my leaves. Let's see, what stamps did I use? Let me show you those. It's a Vicki Boutin set from maybe All the Good Things. I forget, and I don't think it's listed on here. Okay. And then I have this paper, which is a K & Company that dates back to, I have no idea. I don't see a date on it, but it's got to be at least 2010 or 2009, something like that. It's really beautiful, lots of different, it almost looks mixed media there. So, okay, that's enough about the materials I'm using. This is my black cardstock that's required. And the design, as far as I'm interpreting it, is a group of photos or cards bridging the gap, about in the center, and then embellished and so forth. But first I'm going to do some more to the background. I a couple weeks ago used this Nuvo shimmer powder on a mixed media frenzy layout, and I was trying to use it as I have used other shimmering powders in the past, and it just was an epic fail. Here I actually tried some things with a stencil that I have out here somewhere. Let me hunt down my stencil. I'm going crazy here because everything depends on my finding that stencil. In any case, let me just kind of describe to you. I have thought for the longest time, here it is. I've thought for the longest time that this powder was, it just simply doesn't show up on white paper as well as you'd like it to. Blended with or mixed around with some other colors, it might be fine, and I could use it with some of my other color burst type. It's got pigment and mica, and the mica interacts with the minerals in the water to make the pigments kind of explode. And with any purple pigment, you can expect that there will probably be some blue pigment in there and some pink pigment in there, or some red, and you may even find a little bit of green depending on which tone. So it's not unusual for those starbursts to really kind of surprise you with a burst of color, which is where Ken Oliver's products got their name. So I did, I put this stencil down, sprinkled some powder through, sprayed it with water. As you can see, I kind of got a little bit of the stencil effect in some places, and other places it just kind of mooshed. And to be actually honest, I think I got these marks from actually turning the stencil over where the water and the pigment were and just kind of pressing it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to mix up some powder and water here on my cutting mat, and then I'm going to dip my stencil into it. Now, because I'm not really going for an effect on paper, I'm not going to worry. You can kind of see there the activity, and you can see the movement of the colors. Before all those colors blend in, and what I expect is not anything particularly distinctive here, but something that will leave a bit of a shine, which is kind of what you're seeing on that black right now. Okay, so here goes. Gonna kind of do that and press it down there, press it down here, and let me do another. And we will not be able to tell what has happened, I'm pretty sure, until this dries. And I'm choosing not to dry it with a paper towel I had the paper towel here ready to do that in case it looked like it was staying wet, but I think I'll just leave it like that. I kind of like what I'm seeing here as it's beginning to dry. You can kind of see the shimmer in the middle, and these black outlines there are actually where it's the paper's still wet. Now, over here, the purple paper is accepting the color a little bit differently, but I'm seeing a lot of really nice texture. That's actually what's happening here, is texture. See if I can maybe add to some of the excitement there with a little tiny bit of the powder. Now, I think what's going to happen there is that powder will, I'm sorry I did that. The powder is staying dry because this is actually drying. There wasn't enough water on there to say, I really, really like this. Okay, let me kind of talk about what I'm going to do next. Let's take, one of the things was that I need a mixed alpha's title. And I want the title to say Hello Spring. So, because my journaling and my journaling block is here, my journaling says, we look forward to seeing these beauties pop up each year because it means spring has arrived. This spring's a little bit different, but they came up anyway, so life may not be so bad after all. It's there can be all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world, but these guys still came up. So I found the word hello in this kind of nice, it's a holographic foil, kind of silver, and I like that. I could use the hello, and then what I was planning to do was in this purple font, write out spring with those alphas. And then I thought, okay, wait, instead of that, maybe I'll use this hello from the sticker sheet. And there's spring down here. I don't think that fits the qualifications of the recipe. So I went back to, I got a fresh set of these. I have had a set of these. This is from the Bloom Street collection, and it's the thicker titles. And these are kind of ombre, and I love this one because it brings out the green that I'm going to kind of be accenting, the green that is in this center photograph of those leaves. So, and I'm going to spell out hello with this white alpha. That the white alpha and this new set of Bloom Street came in my Mind the Scrap kit this month. So let me kind of see where I want. I'm going to kind of place this because this appears to be not completely dry, but drying. So I'm going to do this with it kind of there. I have some foam behind the photos before I start the 3 layers. So I think that's all the foam I'm going to use. I may put a little bit of wet glue back here because it may be this dry adhesive may not want to stick to the still damp paper. Okay, so I'll do that, and I can always fix that afterwards. Let me move, I think I'm done with my glass mat. So I'm going to pull it off the table and work kind of right here. Let me do a camera check. That is within your sight, so I will leave it there. Okay, I've got this. Oh my gosh. I laid it down. I tell you what. Well, that's going to get covered by the leaf embellishments, but now I have a little glue on my fingers. I laid it down to check on the camera and then messed up the background. Okay, so before I do, well, actually no. I know that I want my title or my journaling block to be down here. Let me cover up my glue. And I'm gonna, this is where I use the dots. I use the dotted side for there. You really can't tell much. Okay, and the requirement for the 3 hearts is, I may carry out right here. Okay, I stamped that leaf sprig in black first, and then I stamped it in green with a little bit of black ink still on the stamp. And then I stamped it in purple with a little bit of the green ink still. So there's a little bit of shadowing. It's kind of hard to see unless you're up close, but it actually is something that I think looks quite nice. Okay, so what I have in mind is that these sprigs will kind of overlap one another like so. I want the black one, I want to show the least of the black one. So let me see if I can raise that up. That's actually got some glue on it, so that's not a good layer to insert something through. So let me, I'll get it placed and then I'll worry about the gluing. Something like that. And then the purple maybe right there. Let me move this over a bit and there. And I'm going to overlap the purple on top of the black. Okay, so let me do a little glue, and I've got a couple butterflies. I've got 3 butterflies that I'll add to this cluster to kind of up where it heads towards the title. Okay, let me, I'm hoping to adhere it actually to the photo, but it doesn't appear to want to do that. So I'll put it in the layer just behind the photo. Okay. And now the black. I love leaf sprigs in general, the look of them. And in my opinion, most ephemera sets have too few of them. That up, and then I'm going to lift this. So I'd love to see more. I run out of them far too quickly. And I love when collections offer stamps in the same style as the leaves and flowers that were in the ephemera, because it allows me to use the same style of embellishments as the designer intended, but to have a bigger collection of them. Let me get this kind of going off that way. Okay, that works. And now I've got a butterfly that I'm going to put kind of overlap on the photo, and I'm using one of my older bottles of glue. Let me do that there. And I've got one that's navy blue that kind of has the spots on the navy blue wings are purple, so they go really nicely with this particular pattern paper. So another one. Now, this one, do I want it flying wing and wing with this one? I do kind of like that look. Okay, there. Now see how this is drying? It's looking great. Okay, so let me do my title, and then I'll place my 3 hearts. I could take my hearts from this sticker set, or I could play up this pink color, but I think the pink hearts that I pulled out actually aren't the right color pink, so I'm gonna discard those. So that's back to square one, and I'm hoping that I have enough hearts and enough of the right colors. Okay. I love these titles. I like script on any layout, and it's wonderful when the words that they offer you in script are appropriate for your title. So what I'm doing here is I overlapped the P on top of these bottom 2 layers, and then I overlap the S onto the purple layer, so it kind of twists around. And I like that look, especially since my hello is going to be kind of, you know, soldier-like and okay, let's go here with the H, and I usually put my letters on wonky to cover up the fact that I can't ever really get them straight when I want them to be straight, but I'm hoping these go on straight because they're so linear. There are so many right angles, and you don't get to any curves until you get to the O. Okay, that's a little bit of push there. Okay, there's the title. Now let me find hearts. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Okay, here is a purple heart. And here's a green in the color of the title. And here's a pink that may be the right pink, but I actually like the smaller green. And that's here. Okay, and I had in mind doing something like this. This. Maybe. How about okay, I think I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to call this done. As I said, it's a little bit less ornate. This didn't go on straight, so not a problem. This doesn't have any liquid glue on it, so I need to get it parallel with the photo cluster. Okay, so done. I have my mixed media background. It's not particularly overwhelming, but it's it definitely shows, and because I've continued it over onto the pattern paper, it kind of gives it a sense that it's the background and not just some stuff that I smooshed in some areas. I normally do some ink sprinkles, but I'm not gonna do that with this one. What I will do is put foam dots under these so that those leaves have some dimension, and I'll do it on the last leaf. Okay, there's a lot of this, as I said, these were stamped out of that very faint this pattern paper that has a little botanical type print on it, but it's hardly discernible. I'm wondering if it'll show up in a photograph. Sometimes when you have something that isn't white, and this isn't, it's a really pale lavender paper. Oh, I took the backing off just a little too soon. Okay, so that's good, and now I curl that up, and these can all kind of be curled up a bit, and they'll kind of stay that way for the photograph. Of course, we have to have it look nice for that. Okay, this will flatten down. This was very curly this afternoon when I did the original mixed media, so I'm happy with that. In this case, for this page, these flowers are the stars, and I really didn't want to do too much to take away from that. I certainly didn't want any other flowers because there are no flowers in the scrapbooking world that could compete with or even bring these out. They're just spectacular. So thank you for watching. I will see you next week for Scrap Squad Sunday, and when you see this on Sunday, there will have been a whole bunch of new lifts out there for their happy birthday event, which is Saturday. And I'm going to try to get in on a few of those. I don't know if I'll have a chance to video them. Tomorrow is the drive-by graduation for my granddaughter Katie and my granddaughter Allie. They're both graduating from the same high school, but Allie's last name starts with a K and Katie's starts with a W. So they will be in two different time slots, and we're decorating cars and they're decorating their caps and gowns. So I'm sure there'll be lots of photo ops and lots of pages to follow. So I'm not sure how much time I'll have to scrap, but I'm going to try to get in there and do at least a few of those, and I'll catch up. I try to combine a Scrap Squad lift with nearly every page I produce. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. Bye.